Hello, this is the Monotone Centrist. Another video. I know I have not done a video in a very long time, but not a whole lot going on, and some of the topics I've been kind of avoiding for the most part. But here we are again with the whole gun debate. If you haven't heard, I'm sure um, you have, but just in case you're out of the loop, there was another mass shooting. I think there's 18 dead in Maine. Um, we don't know a whole lot, but we do know he was hearing voices and he actually threatened to shoot up a place. Now, this guy was I guess, like, trained people in the military, which is kind of weird. So he had insane access to guns, regardless of what law. Even if he had his guns confiscated, he still had access to guns. I don't know how he wasn't in jail, or very least had his guns confiscated. I'm not too sure it would made too much of a difference considering his position as, like, I think he was like a gunsmith at the military. I think he threatened to shoot up a military base. So yeah, if we enforce the laws, the yellow flag laws or the red flag laws or whatever these states have, this guy probably wouldn't have the guns to deal with. There's one thing I really like to point out that I hate the media is doing. They use the term assault rifle, pretty much interchangeable, and that's not what he was using. Assault rifles have a mode for semi-automatic and automatic. It's extremely hard to get an automatic gun. Okay, extremely hard. You have to go through insane background checks, and it costs a lot of money. He did not use an assault rifle. I know many people don't know the difference. I think mainstream media knows that. For the most part, I say 90% of people do not know the difference between an assault rifle and just a regular rifle. I don't like that kind of fear mongering among the headlines, because that's not what he was using. It has to select fire for automatic and semi automatic. And for the most part, I don't think people know the fucking difference. And they're already calling for new laws, bans for assault rifles. They're pretty much already banned. They're extremely hard to get. He wasn't using an assault rifle. And I really hate how the media is portraying it like that. A lot of them will go around it and say that he used an assault style rifle. Again, it's either an assault weapon or it's not. They're not weapons for war. It's just a regular weapon. It's just a regular gun. It wouldn't be any different if you used a handgun. Like, I'm just mystified at this debate when, if they enforced the laws that they had on the books in Maine, this guy should have never had his fun. He went to like an asylum. I don't think it was like a asylum, but he had to be evaluated. Um, for I think he was in there for like 2 weeks, or it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember exact details of it. Um, I don't want to show his photo. I got found a image on Google here that didn't show his face. I don't really want to show his face. I mean, you can look it up. His photos all over the place now. So I think the problem is mainly to do with, he made threats. He was hearing voices. He had a mental health evaluation. At the very least, his guns should have been confiscated if they were enforcing the laws that are already there. Bottom line, not only for the evaluation, but the threats and many other arrests that he had. He shouldn't have been handling guns, but here he is with the military. Like, what the hell? Like, this guy should have been even remotely free, or if he was free, he should have been monitored heavily. Like, there's a lot of holes in the system that need to be covered before we even try to tackle these other, problems that we have. It would have been so simple to have this guy at least monitored, or at the very least monitored. Like, seriously, like, there's always like 99% of the time, it's always like they make threats, or there's like a mental evaluation, or like there's always fucking signs, but nothing happens. Never arrest, never even checked on this guy. This guy was obviously crazy for hearing voices, for one, and he shouldn't have been probably free to roam the streets. At least if he was, again, heavily monitored by somebody, but nothing was there. I think there's a huge fucking gap between there now. Already there's call for bans for assault rifles. Again, I hate to repeat this because it doesn't seem people really fucking get it, okay? Like, he didn't use an assault rifle. And new laws is not going to do anything if you don't enforce them. You already didn't enforce the red flag laws or the yellow flag laws that I had already instated. What makes you think they're going to enforce the new laws? It just makes no fucking sense. Should there be something to be done? Yeah, enforce the laws that we have on the books already. Imagine actually enforcing a law. Laws only do so good. If you don't enforce them, they don't do anything. They don't do shit. So, like, it fucking just boggles my mind every time there's a mass shooting like this. There's always a call for banning these kind of type of weapons when it's not going to fucking help the situation. Even if we, like, let's say argumentatively, we ban guns tomorrow, all guns, doesn't matter what kind of gun it is, that's not going to stop mass shootings in the least, because there's 300 million fucking guns in the United States right now, and there's no way in hell the government can confiscate these weapons. That would just, hell no, that would just probably never happen. And there's no way that Joe Biden is going. That would be freaking career fucking suicide if he tried to enact something that forcefully took guns away from citizens, especially with the Constitution. Like, that shit would hit the fan. Like, there'd be fucking chaos. Like, I couldn't imagine if he tried to pull that shit. Like, there's no fucking way that shit would slide. So, is there a actual solution besides it actually enforcing the laws? I think society as a whole needs to be better. Maybe we should focus on more mental health kind of like facilities. I know that would cost a lot of money, um, but something definitely needs to be done. I agree, but like, more laws that won't be enforced is not the solution, and thoughts and prayers isn't fucking doing it either. I hate that fucking sentiment also. Trust me, I think that's fucking dumb. Just as fucking stupid is trying to ban the guns. Like, thoughts and prayers, what the fuck does that do? Nothing. And just as much as more laws. So I hate that fucking side of it too. Like, Republicans are just as fucking stupid, if you ask me, when it comes to this kind of fucking thing. So it's just not one fucking side. Trust me, I see it too. So I think just as a society as a whole, like, we're degrading. Like, do there needs to be better mental health? Absolutely, because we pretty much have nothing. We don't have insane asylums. We don't have really much we can do for some people that are just not, I guess, I want to say not normal, but like on that scale of where they need to be put away for their thoughts and sometimes in their actions, where these people really do slip through the cracks a lot of the time, and law enforcement or pretty much anybody doesn't do anything about it. So, like, could this have been stopped? I believe it should have been. Absolutely, if these laws were enforced to begin with. So, is there an ultimate solution? Of course not. I think it's going to take many, many years of just our society as a whole to be, I don't know, be more accepting, kinder, something. It's like something took a fucking turn, and it seems a lot of people are just snapping or just have really bad mental health all of a sudden. And I don't remember this, you know, 10, even 20 years ago being this a fucking much of a problem. Maybe it's because we have more access to the internet than it seems to be more problematic than it really is. Who knows? I think there's a lot of things that could be done that improve it. Will there be an ultimate solution to it? Most likely not. Unfortunately, that's just. I don't think we should live with something like this. I think we need to improve as a society as a whole. It's like now, like our culture just like needs to change for the better before anything improves. And this, the more and more we divide, I think the more and more worse it's going to get. Pretty much. Um, I don't mean to sound like a doomer with it, like, oh, it's impossible to achieve this. Will we get closer if we work on some things? Absolutely. Will it be still mass shootings? Most likely. Can we reduce the amount? I think absolutely that's is really attainable goal. But I'm not too sure what the steps would be. I think mental health would be extremely helpful. Enforcing the laws, another extremely helpful fucking thing we need to be doing. So, with these things combined, will it ever stop? I don't think so, but it could reduce the numbers massively if these are done correctly. That's pretty much I have to say about the whole thing. Truly tragic. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for listening. Rate, comment, subscribe.